37% of Jamaicans will not vote in the upcoming elections next year, while a big murder cover-up in the islands. This is Undiluted News, Mikey Bones reporting. The country will hold local government elections in 2024 amid a backdrop of continuing disinterest in voting, according to the findings of the recent Don Anderson poll, which surveyed 1,015 registered voters. Local government elections must take place on or before February 28 in 2024. But according to the latest Don Anderson survey, 37% of respondents will not vote for either of the two major political parties when the local election is announced. This is consistent with vote patterns in the last 6 parish council elections. The people them say them not voting for none of the P's. Mr. Anderson noted that 27% of the respondents said that their votes does not matter. Others expressed that they do not benefit from voting and that there is no difference between either party. Some further argue that they withhold their votes because there is no development in the country. Another major consensus among respondents at 21% was that neither party could influence them to vote come next year. In the United States, Ruby Freeman and Seamus, the two Georgian election workers who won a nearly $150 million defamation lawsuit against Rudy Giuliani on Friday, have sued him again yesterday, asking a federal judge to prevent him from lying about them in the future. Giuliani has continued to make misleading assertions regarding their role as absentee ballot counts in the 2020 election, prompting the complaint. He is also headed to trial for criminal charges in Georgia, where he has pleaded not guilty related to the 2020 election work for Trump. Moss and Freeman's lawyer added that even since the verdict, Giuliani has indicated he wouldn't stop repeating the false claims against them. At the end of the first day of their defamation damages trial against him last week, Giuliani told the TV cameras outside court that everything I said about them is true and that he had proof that the media should stay tuned. Every time that he mentioned that lie, they should sue him until he have nothing left and end up sleeping on the street. He's a wicked man. Those two women's life have been ruined. They have to leave their home and the neighborhood they love. They cannot even use their name in public and have to be under disguise all the time. They also need to sue America's #1 liar as well. He slandered those people on his platform as well. Back to Jamaica, let's revisit the story of the MP who is now under investigation for his wife's death. People, this is Jamaica's corruption at its finest. The reports are that on November 10th, the MP wife died in her sleep, only for the body, when examined 6 weeks after, to be ruled a homicide. After the post-mortem, it was discovered that she was shot at least 3 times, according to Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of crime, Fitz Bailey. Now think about that for 1 second. Think for 1 second, not even a minute. If someone is shot 3 times, especially a person who is brown in complexion, no matter how you wash that body and cover it up, it will show burnt scar. It's gonna show blood or holes in it. And the police came, did their investigation, and could not figure out that this woman had bullet wounds. It took 6 weeks for a coroner to say, hey, this lady was shot 3 times. When people get shot, there is blood all over the floor, blood on the wall, blood on the bed. But the police went to the house and gave us news that the woman died in her sleep. This is murder and this is corruption. No wonder people say that Jamaica is not a real place. This is corruption from the top of the government to the top of the police. And I also warned you earlier this year that the government was going to cover up the murder total this year, as it was heading to break the record by December 31st. On the front of a newspaper today, they have murder reduction at 8% this year. Do not believe that story. 3 illegal firearms were seized during a major police military operation at 100 Sunset Crescent in St. Andrew on Monday. A high-powered assault rifle was among the weapons seized, along with a quantity of assorted ammunition. Several people were also taken into custody in the operation conducted by the St. Andrew North Police Caribbean Search Center, K9 Division, Specialized Operations, and member of the Jamaica Defense Force. Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force Corporate Communications Unit, said the operation was in response to recent robberies and shootings in the General Sunrise, 100 Lane, and Chancery Lane Street area. SSP Lindsay added that the police will continue their focus on the community, targeting violence producers. Meanwhile, a district constable convicted of larceny stemming from a petrol scam uncovered by the High Command in 2012 was sentenced before the St. Andrew Parish Court last week. District Constable Aquino Barnes was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment at hard labor or a fine of $100,000 last Thursday following his conviction for the charge of larceny as a servant. Barnes, who went on trial in 2016, pleaded guilty to the charge on March 14 this year. He was arrested and charged by the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency MOCA in 2012 during a corruption probe, and he was accused of using the petrol advance card designated for police service vehicle to pay for fuel for his own personal motor vehicle. The American woman who was captured at the Santos International Airport 2 weeks ago with millions of dollars worth of cocaine in her possession was remanded on Friday when she appeared in the St. James Parish Court. Irina Washington, a 30-year-old sales associate of Northwest Washington, D.C., is to return to court today for a bail hearing. The American national was arrested on Monday, December 4th, while preparing to board a flight to the U.S. out of Montego Bay. The cops said that more than 5 pounds of cocaine with a street value of 70,000 US or 10 million Jamaican dollars was found strapped to her body. She was subsequently charged with possession of cocaine, dealing in cocaine, attempting to export cocaine, and conspiracy to export cocaine. A 36-year-old fisherman was gunned down in Old Harbor Bay, St. Catherine on Saturday. Police reports heard at about 6:30 p.m. Donovan Colin Taylor was at a bar in the Old Harbor Bay fishing village when he was pounced upon by a man armed with a gun. The armed man fired several shots at Taylor, hitting him in the buttocks before escaping the area. The injured fisherman was reportedly taken to the Maypen Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The Old Harbor Bay police have launched an investigation into the killing, but have yet to establish a motive for that gun attack. Onto sports, Mullins United head coach Jermaine Thomas said that their offensive game will need to improve drastically if they are to avoid relegation from the Ray and Neville Jamaica Premier League. This is after the league's bottom place club went down 1-0 to Tivoli Gardens on Sunday at Stadium East, and this win pushed Tivoli to 17 points, while Mullins remain at the bottom of the league on 4 points. Sunday's result was Dunbeholden beating Montego Bay 2-1, Arnett Gardens beating Humber Lions 2-0, Portmore Edge Cavalier 1-0, Vere United beating Mount Pleasant 2-0, while Tivoli Edge Mullins 1-0. In last night's game, we had Waterhouse demolishing Treasure Beach 4-1, while Harborview beat Limehall Academy 3-0. On to cricket, the 4 T20 international between the West Indies and England is set for today at 4 p.m. The West Indies lead the series 2-1, taking the first 2 games. The first by 4 wickets at Kensington Oval in Barbados, and the second by 10 runs. England took the third game, and the West Indies could clinch the series with a win tonight. And if you missed the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube and type in Jamaican Undiluted News. Listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.